A former RCMP officer who helped establish Nova Scotia's Amber Alert system is criticizing the RCMP for failing to issue an alert immediately in the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case. He says the system was designed specifically for situations like this one, calling the RCMP, quote, a bunch of morons, and accusing them of being responsible for the current state of the case, saying they have failed. Meanwhile, prominent Nova Scotia criminal defense lawyer Adam Rogers argues that RCMP's failure to inform Martel about key witness reports suggests that Martel himself is being treated as a suspect. And I'm talking here about Daniel Martel, who was the boyfriend of the mother to Lilly and Jack Sullivan, Malaya Brooks Murray, at the time that the children were reported missing. These issues were discussed in a podcast hosted by Paul Palango, a former Canadian investigative journalist and author of 4 nonfiction books, and Adam Rogers, as they examine the RCMP's handling of the Sullivan case and its broader implications.
The RCMP and the way it investigates is problematic. I mean, they look for reasons not to investigate, to make things go away. That's historically accurate. They're not aggressive. I got a note from a Mountie who we're going to be talking to in the near future, I hope, because his troubles with the Mounties is sort of come back into the forefront. His name is Dave Moore. But Dave Moore, when he was with the Mounties, was one of the people who helped set up the Amber Alert system in Nova Scotia. And what has happened, I got a note from Dave the other day talking about Jack and Lilly Sullivan going missing. And he said this was a perfect example where an Amber Alert should have been put out immediately. That's how the system was designed. But the Dudley Do-Right in charge that day is allowed in the RCMP to make a decision not to put out an Amber Alert, which sort of defies logic in this situation. And then before you know it, the case, everything has gone cold because no one was paying attention when they should have been paying attention and following the rules and the systems that were already in place. I mean, he's literally pulling his hair out saying, this is insane. They're not doing a good job, and they failed in this case. And now look what's happened.
Well, look, everybody's perception, watching the news, watching the interviews with the police, seeing the moves that they were making, like last couple of weeks, bringing in the cadaver dogs. Well, okay, everything must be pointing to those kids being in the area, lost in the woods somewhere. It's thick foliage and all that stuff. Okay, it's difficult. Done a lot of searches. Okay, sure. But this new information points to, well, okay, maybe there was a vehicle that abducted, or there was something nefarious going on. We also find out that the mother of the 2 children says she went to sleep at 9 o'clock. The stepdad stayed up all night, was supposed to be cleaning. She wakes up in the morning, the house isn't clean, and she doesn't know what he was doing. And now we find out from him, the CBC called this Daniel Martel to interview him, and he says, "Oh, the police didn't tell me that they interviewed 2 people who said there were noises around the area." Okay, well, if they're not telling him that, that tells me, Paul, that he's a suspect.
Yeah, for sure. But somebody, the suspects obviously were the people closest to that house.
Yeah.
In this situation. But let me get back to what Dave Moore said. I mean, I'd like to get him on camera in the next little while, but here's what he said, and I think this applies. He was a smart cop who got sort of railroaded out of the RCMP, and we're going to come back to this in a bit because he was involved in the Glen Assoon case with, the missing documents and all kinds of malfeasance by the RCMP and Halifax police. Dave says, The Amber Alert is designed to take the discretion away from egos and know-it-all police officers. The formula is simple. Send out the Amber Alert for the missing person as soon as it was reported to police. Why? Because time is of the essence, and the quicker people are alerted to the higher likelihood of somebody seeing and reporting them. The alert extends 100 kilometers for each hour they have been missing, plus an additional 100 kilometers radius. This is used as a general traveling speed by cars of 100 kilometers an hour. The rationale need not be explained. Just do it.
Yeah.
The Sullivan case in Nova Scotia was stymied by moron RCMP who thought they knew better. Who effing asked you to think for yourself? Now they are lost with no baseline of understanding and no scope of distance to the investigation. Even when a foolproof program is designed and implemented, the RCMP still can't get it right. Society loses every time. It's hard to fly like an eagle when you work with a bunch of turkeys.
That's something. Well, let's just think of this simple little example. Okay, everybody's seen the articles with pictures of the two children. Okay, I haven't memorized those pictures. If there was an Amber Alert and somebody thought they were missing, you'd take a lot closer look at those photos just so that you're like, okay, well now I'm going to be on you never know where they might be, right? So that would generate potentially more leads by having the general citizenry more alert to it. So big mistake there by the police.
Absolutely.
Lilly and Jack Sullivan, 6 and 4 years old, went missing May 2nd of this year, 2025, from their home in Pictou County off Gerlach Road. They were reported missing at approximately 10:01 a.m. by their mother, Malaya Brooks Marie. The children have been missing ever since. Despite intensive searches by land, air, dogs, drones, RCMP bringing in cadaver dogs just a few weeks ago, there has been virtually no sign, according to the RCMP, of the children. And despite an intensive investigation by the RCMP, police still claim that there is no evidence of any sort of criminal offense. The case is still classified as a missing person case. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Jack and Lilly Sullivan, please contact Crime Stoppers.